Hello everybody and welcome back to a survivor's guide to This War of Mine, where we are taking you through a playthrough of the game to show you all of the bits and pieces that you all need to know in order to set yourself up. Nothing happened tonight. Last time we were raided, this time we were not. We've managed to gather a lot of resources and we have got a very tired catcher. You'll notice that even though Bruno is not tired, he is still in bed, and that is because he is slightly sick. If he was not slightly sick, he would be up and around walking already. We're able to now deal with this situation. I think I'm going to send Pavel to sleep, but we are going to focus on the fact that we've got a lot of resources now, and if I look at these benches, we have been neglecting up until this point the second button here, because we've done most of the first things. If I look into here, we have done a bed, we have done a chair, we've done a radio. There is also the simple heater, but we will look into that when we get to the winter section of this game. What we are going to do next, however, is we are going to focus our efforts a little bit more on upgrading this. So if we look at the upgrade, you get a whole selection of other things, we get an improved workshop, and that will open up our possibilities a lot more. Let us go and we will see how this is. So you just click make, and the thing disappears very briefly, and then it will start to be built. As for the alcohol, as you can see, it's now sitting here with this kind of white hand over it. And the main reason for that is that it is not actually put in our things until we go and collect it. So that is something that is very important to remember you do so that you can use it. If I grab that, there we go, and it's back to its normal symbol for the moonshine collector. So that is very good. We've got a good collection of things now. And now you can see we've got a slightly better looking workshop. And if I was to jump into it, you'll be able to see we've got a whole load new things. So we can now get this thing called board up, which is very, very useful for our base. We can make a guitar, which we do need to have a broken guitar for, so that's very difficult to make. We've still got the crude stove, we've still got all the stuff that we were able to make before, but we can make a herbal garden, we can make a herbal workshop, we can make the moonshine still, we've done this, we've done this. The other thing is a trap for small animals, which requires a lot of materials. As you can see, you are going to end up spending a lot of your time gathering materials, so that is something that is worthwhile focusing on and thinking about. Good, so while we are here, we are now able to think about what else we want to do today. So we've now got a situation here where we've got someone who isn't the trader coming to the door. I'm still going to send Catcher up here, but we are going to we're going to see what that's all about. And the other thing that we want to look at very briefly is the other upgrades that we can do. You'll see that there is one here for the metal workshop, which requires a good chunk of components and wood. And there is also one up here for the oven. And let's quickly have a look at that, and that will be, we just need some more wood. We've got actually exactly the right amount of components and the right amount of parts. However, if you are ignoring them at the front door, like I was just doing so, they will knock again and try to get your attention. They won't leave, I don't believe, but it is worth checking. So here we go, we say, our mum is sick, please help us. For anyone who isn't the trader, you'll just get this option down here. So if we quickly go and say hello, we say, we live several blocks away from here, our mum's very ill, she needs medications, could you please spare any? Without your help she will die, after daddy went to fight we only have her, please help us, save her. So now there are situations like this that come along, and they're mainly in there to try and make you deal with the complexities and the morality of war. Now this is an interesting kind of conundrum, because I don't actually have this, so I could say no, I could say give me a sec, or I could say maybe later. So no completely outright refuses, they leave, and we never see them again. Give me a sec gives me the time today, so if I was to do that, and I could then go and do my own thing and they'd stay where they are. However, the one I'm going to choose now is I am going to choose the maybe later thing, which means they go away and they will try and come back, which gives me a few days to try and honour their request. Not all of them have that option, but some of them do. So now there's not much else to do today. Once there's somebody's come to the door, they only get one person come to the door. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave it, and we're going to then focus our hardest on making sure that we are scavenging again. So I'm going to end the day here, and we are going to then send Pavel out to gather some more resources. So the semi-detached house we know is dangerous. We know the shelled school is dangerous. Small apartment building has got some caution advised, and we've got the airport as well. So a lot of these locations are quite interesting. However, what I'm planning on doing right now is I'm thinking I will go back to one of the locations I've been to already and see if I'm able to find a few things. Because now that we know at the Shelled School, for example, that we don't need our shovel anymore, I can now leave the shovel at home and we're able to deal with it. I'm going to let you sleep and I'm going to let Bruno guard, and we're going to go to the Shelled School in order to grab some stuff and hopefully bring back the materials we need to upgrade what we are needing. So I'm going to grab this and we're going to scavenge. We need to focus a lot on the upgrades today because I want to get to the next level on a few things before we start to worry. So let us move over the top. We've got the crowbar, so we will be able to deal with a few things. Let us follow our way down here because the main thing I wanted to have a quick look at, and I remembered correctly, I think, is if I go right to the other side here. See, I've noticed that these guys don't seem too worried about my presence, so I'm going to just keep on moving and keep on going. So here, I've noticed that there seems to be what looks to be a medicine cabinet here. So I'm going to quickly look in here and see what we have. And it's got one of the things we need, and it's got some of this. So I can gather all of this stuff, which is very, very good. And I can even then smash into here using my crowbar. This is all very, very good. Remember, we do need to get a lot more wood and a lot more materials in order to upgrade some things. So if we look in here, there is something else that we could have a look here. And have a see. Get some parts and some wood. So let's grab all of that, and I'm going to leave one of those there because it doesn't stack, and therefore we can maybe fill our inventory with a bit more useful things. If we go along here, we remember we have got the stash behind the fridge that we could look at. If I go and have a look behind the stash, we can get some food. So I'm going to grab the food just to make sure that we are not too far behind in where we need to be. And then I'm going to look into this lovely fridge that I believe has a lot of the resources we need. So I'm going to grab some of this, and I'm going to grab some of this, and I think that that is good. I think that is a great haul for today. We're going to run to the exit, and we are going to have a look at it. Good. So thankfully with the fast runner, he should be able to get back, so we'll do tomorrow as well in this episode, where we will look at a few more upgrades if we can, and we'll see if the trader man comes back, which should give us quite a few additional benefit things. The main thing I want to upgrade and show you is the metal workshop. But also, if we can't, we will start to look at the ways of improving the shelter. If not, that will be next time. I really do want to upgrade the metal workshop first, though. It is day 5, and we are going to see where we are moving from here, which is very good. So we get back. We didn't get raided. However, Bruno clearly isn't well. He could do with some pills. This is a sign that he has gone from pretty sick to very sick, and so now I'm going to give him some of these original level stuff and see if he can able to do it, if he's able to be fixed by it. So we do this, and then it says he's on meds, so this means he's got some kind of medication. The game behind the scenes will link whether it's the good one or the bad one. I'm trying to keep the good one for the kids. Now I'm going to send Bruno to bed. Actually no, first Bruno needs to cook. That is something that you always need to remember, like so. So I could now make... Oh, I need to think about this. So we need to make some more of this. However, I want to use some other stuff. So I'm going to make 2 books into fuel. You have to be balancing all of the resources that you need. The reason I chose the books there was because I needed to keep the wood and the other stuff in order to upgrade some stuff. So let us see how close we are to upgrading this workshop. We are very close. We have 2 and 3. That could be a bit of a problem, but we're now just going to cook, and then we're going to move on from that point. So you'll see that there's this little glass up here, which has now got 3 on it. That is the alcohol that we currently have. If you wanted a person to go and drink some alcohol, they would go up and do that there. However, I don't think we are going to do that. We are going to kind of chill, and we're going to focus on that sort of thing. Unfortunately, the kids have come back today, which means that I'm not actually able to help them, which does put us in a very, very tricky position. You should eat while you can, Bruno, but then we are having these guys come back to the door to try and talk to them. They only need 1, it seems to be, so now that we actually have it, we can say yes. And as you can see, Catcher, for example, now has the ability Content. Well, not the ability, the status effect Content. And so, with them heading off, we are able, and she is able to be... she is able to be a lot better. If I go to, for example, Bruno, however, he doesn't feel the same way. If I go to his bio, which tells you how people react to those choices, meds are hard to come by, but we did the right thing. He's a bit more split on it. If I go to Pavel, he is content. So these 2 are content, but Bruno is not. Sometimes people are affected more or less by certain decisions. Some characters are more selfish than others, and therefore there are lots of different situations. I think I'm going to leave it for today, and then I'm not going to leave it for today, sorry. I'm going to end the day very, very soon. And then once I've done that, we would be able to move on and get some more wood from a few locations. And probably send Pavel back to the school just to gather the last few things. And then we should be able to move on from there to make an upgrade at the this one and this one. Just to show off the first level upgrades in this episode. Good, so you're back to bed. I think that is everything that I wanted to do today because we want to focus on upgrades. We're going to send them to bed, which is very good. You can now sleep in the bed to hopefully improve it. You should be able to scavenge, and you should be able to guard. There we go. There's still a lot of materials here, and I feel like what I need mostly is just those kind of components and wood. So that's what I'm going to focus on. We're going to just go without anything this time, just to stuff our bag full of materials and wood. Should be very, very good. So this is the thing you find. You get to locations that you are very, very used to, and you end up just running to them and gathering all the things that you can. So I can now gather all that wood, which is very, very nice. However, I think through here there was also a pile of components. Yes, there was. Nice. I also think that I didn't take all the components from the fridge downstairs. Eventually you get into this little swing of things where you're actually just clearing out locations bit by bit. I don't think I need an electronic part at the moment. Maybe I will do in the future, but for now we don't. For now we are focusing on all the other things that we need, the components and the other things. I do want to take parts though, I feel like they are kind of useful. And eventually I want to show you off the trap, which I think is going to be next time. Very, very good. Very, very good. Let us go into the fridge and gather all the materials that we need. Good, good, good. I think that that's a nice selection of stuff here. I could maybe do with taking the water, but I can get the water tomorrow maybe. I'll come back here tomorrow evening and grab the water. It should be smart. Nice, very nice, very nice. That should be enough materials, I think, to upgrade everything we want to upgrade. And then I'll be able to end this episode and we'll move on next time to thinking about a few other tools maybe, and also the boarding up and improving the work area. There's a few little things that we want to be able to do, but I wanted to focus on upgrades for the workbenches this time. Which is very, very good. We're already on to day 6 of this playthrough. You'll see as time goes on that you're in a situation where things could be getting a lot better. Unfortunately, we were raided last night. Pavel has been searching for supplies and brought back some things. Then we've got this stuff. Someone tried to rob us. They must have been more scared of us. They didn't do much harm. Thankfully, we were armed. Catcher was wounded, but the attackers didn't steal anything. We should put more people on guard. So now if we look at Catcher, she's still content, but she is now wounded and hungry and tired. So I'm going to send her to look after herself. And you'll notice that because we gave meds to Bruno, he's gone from being sick just to slightly sick. So if we now send him up to do it again, we should be in a good position. The thing we're going to focus on today is I am going to make sure that you are upgrading everything that you need to upgrade. Bruno, you can go and do this. So if we look here, we are now able to upgrade from the workshop to, we were at the 2nd level, but we've now got the 3rd level. However, that's not what we were actually looking at today. We were going to go and focus on upgrading this stuff, because this is actually very important as well. I'm going to upgrade the improved metal workshop, and we're going to get this nice and up and running. I'm going to let you go to bed, Catcher, although actually you're sleeping tonight, so I think you should be fine. Both of you should actually be fine to stay up and about, so the main thing I'm going to do is actually send Pavel to bed. Once he's able to deal with that though. Once he's finished building, of course. Catcher, you can actually come down here ready to be able to use it once it's done. And that is very, very good. So that is now built. You can now go to bed. You'll notice that both of these actually do have another upgrade, which means they have the 3rd level as well. However, if we look at this now, we have got all of this lovely abilities that we can now bake. The additional things are the saw blade. If you remember correctly, there was a few saw blades that we couldn't actually get to. So I'm going to make a couple of those. We can also make a hatchet if we have more weapon parts. And we can also make a gun. Well, the different guns down here are all to do with fixing broken ones if we find them. So these are the 2 things. I really want to get a hatchet very, very soon, so that will be a target. But for also we want to do is we also want to grab a few of these. However, I want to check what the upgrade for the oven needs. See, we still need some more wood, so we're going to have to focus on that this time. However, we do have this ability. we have got the trader come back. As you can see, he comes every few days, and we can do a few things in that regard. If I go and do this, we should be able to talk to him, and be able to get the wood we need to or finish upgrading a few things. Because he's got the 12 there. And you can see there's this stuff down here that is actually worth quite a bit. So if I was to give you some of this, some of the booze that we made, and I was to grab all of this, it says it's very generous of us. In fact, if I was to do this, you would even give me weapon parts. Maybe you give me all this. It won't do, try harder. Let's drop this down until you say yes. That was at 5, I believe. No, 4. Good, so we've now got all of this. I can deal on that, and we can keep going. So we have grabbed all of those materials. However, if I'm smart, I still have a lot of materials here, so I can grab a whole load of stuff like this. It says it won't do, try harder. Oh, I can do a piece of jewellery. There we go. Fine, we can have a deal. It won't do. That's a perfect number, because it means that I can see exactly what I'm able to get. So if I now deal on that deal, we can now upgrade our oven, which is perfect. If I make this, that is very, very good. The other thing that we wanted to do is we wanted to make a hatchet. However, I believe that we are going to save that for tomorrow, because that is a secondary ability that we want to look at. I do want to have a quick glance at what else we can do so I can prepare myself for the next episode. But we should be in a good spot to kind of see what we're doing. Yep, we've got a few bits and pieces. Oh, I also forgot we can also make an armchair in this one, which I've not talked about. But yes, I think we are overall in a good spot. I think we are going to start making this area a bit better for us next episode. That's good. So I'm now just going to send out again all of this situation, but we have now got a lot of things upgraded. If we look in here, we can see now it only takes us 2 water for each one and 1 fuel. And there here, if we look in here, it would only take 1 of these as well. So we are definitely in a better position now when it comes to food. The other thing that I was hoping to build, just to double check if I can, I should be able to build a hatchet. You know what, actually I will show off the hatchet right now because we have time. I'm quickly going to build the hatchet and then show it off today as a little addition for you guys, a little treat. And hopefully that should give us the time that we need for the rest of this episode. I don't think we're going to be doing any more trading today, so I'm going to say goodbye to this guy. Anyone can say goodbye to them. And now we are able to keep on moving. So I'm going to let Catcher sleep tonight, and we've now got this thing. But this is something incredibly important to show you. Now that we've got this hatchet, you'll suddenly see up here, a lot of these locations have suddenly appeared up with icons. If I send these people up there, we can now start to use our hatchet to break up some of these buildings and some of these structures around and about. You can see there's Bruno working on that one, and Catcher can then work on this one. But if we look in here, this pile of rubble stuff, we get a whole load of wood, which is very, very good. In fact, I'm going to start by showing you even something else that you can do today because of what we can do with all this, which is good. You can start doing that. You can keep moving on to this Catcher. So I'm going to send, because we got raided last night, we ended up in a situation where things are probably not too good. I've also worth mentioning that every single one of these that you do, you'll get wood, yes, that I've shown you, but you also get a load of fuel. Now the reason I'm leaving the fuel in here is because later on in the game, there'll be the winter, and that is something that this fuel is very, very important to keep hold of for. So Eric, you can head out to the back, you can smash through this, and Pavel, now that you're here, you should be able to go to this workbench, and you can see that we've now got the ability to board up. If I click make on this, you'll see at the front here we've now got a working location, which allows me to say that I'm going to fix this up and therefore save ourselves a bit of hassle. So we've now done that, so now Bruno, you can go and board up as well. In fact, Catcher could too, because there are 3 locations in every single house that you need to be able to board up. And when you board them up, you get a lot better abilities in order to defend yourself at night. There we go, and you can see the reason I've done this time is because there's a lot of wood being available all of a sudden, and that is very, very important. I am, however, going to leave it here once these have been boarded up. As you can see here, that's now been boarded up, and Bruno has started over here. And finally, Catcher will do pretty one. I think the final one's in the roof. In fact, I'll make you run up there now, Pavel. You're a lot faster. Then we do this, which is good, and then if I... Oh, no, you can go over and do that. Catcher, you can wait down here. If I was to actually now go back into here, you'll see that it's disappeared. So therefore, once you've done all 3 of them, they kind of disappear, and you are then able to kind of do your own thing. So that's now been built up here. If I now click End Day, you can see all of that is lovely boarded up, and I can now let Catcher sleep because she's wounded and therefore tired, and therefore all of this stuff is a big problem. I'm going to send Parvel out to scavenge, and we are going to leave Bruno to guard our now defended shelter. I am, however, going to leave it here for tonight. I'm just going to go back to the Shelled School to pick up some more materials for us to play with next time. But next time we will be looking into a bit more of the tools, even though we did the hatchet today, and we will be looking into the new workbenches that are available. Thank you very much, and I will see you then. Ta-ra.